So the last couple weeks has been extremely hot. We're in North Carolina, so right now it is hot and very humid. The air is just thick. It's hard to breathe. So each day I come home in the afternoons and I water all the horses. So I don't fill their water up all the way. I do about half to 3/4 full of the trough. That way whenever I come back in the afternoon, I can put cold water in there. We try to have all the water troughs in shade. Sometimes, depending on the time of the day, it doesn't happen that way. Each day that I come home to fill up the water troughs, I also hose down the horses, just to help cool them off. And I've been noticing that probably the last week that one of our horses, Hank, he is not sweating. So I keep an eye on him. His pasture has more than enough shade. Since we just moved, we don't have a barn up yet. We are in the process of it. There's just a few things that need to happen. So I'm in his pasture right now. So you can see all the trees back there. It's pretty thick. It's all shaded. There's even a portion of it that goes downhill. There's plenty of shade in here, and it's 24/7. So there's portions of the grass that is in more shade in the mornings, more at night, but he has access of 24/7 grass and shade. So I'm just gonna kind of show you what I'm comparing to. And it's early afternoon, so it's not even the hottest part of the day. So this is Jack, one of his pasture mates, and I'm not sure if you can tell very well, but right up here and his neck, he's already starting to sweat. Then we have another horse that's here, who is almost the same color as Hank. You can see he's starting to sweat along his back, down his belly, and then also on his neck. Really hard to see, but you can see all of that. So they call it anhidrosis. There's no research showing what makes a horse have it. And some horses do not have it their whole life. But it tends to happen a lot in the southeast, where it gets really humid, and they don't sweat. Because I look at them every day, and this has not been happening, but for just a short period of time. And sometimes horses don't even completely stop sweating. Sometimes it's just a portion that they do not sweat in one area. But if you notice, the same horses in that pasture are drenched in sweat, and the horse you're questioning is only sweating a portion of their body, they're not sweating as much as normal, then that's a red flag. Also, watch their respiratory rate. That is a big sign. This is Hank. He is the one we are checking out with the anhidrosis. So if you watch him breathe, you can see that his respiratory rate is higher. His nostrils are very flared, and it's just like he's having a hard time breathing. And then if you look at him, he's standing in the shade. He's over here standing in the shade, and his two pasture buddies are on the other side of the round pen in the sun eating grass. So he's still eating grass, but he's just trying to stick into the cooler areas. But also, there is no sweat marks on him. There's none that even feel like he's about to start sweating. So different people have tried a bunch of different things for anhidrosis. There's people who say that beer, a dark beer, that feeding them a beer a day can help. There are supplements out there that specifically say it helps with it. We have not tried any of that because we just started monitoring his sweat level to see if that's actually what was going on, and his respiratory rate. So he so far has just been getting a hose down a couple times a day. But he's not on a high sugar or carb feed. He's actually just on pasture, and we have an Equinety tub, and that's a free choice. But if you were to monitor it, between 3 horses, that tub lasts me a couple months. So they're not even eating that as much as you would think. So he's basically just on grass, and weight-wise, he could lose weight. But it's just been so hot, he's not been in work. So I'm not working him when it's this hot. Even early in the mornings, it's still humid. It's not worth it. So he gets exercise in the pasture, and he gets grass. And he's been like this. We've owned him for years, and he's always been an easy keeper. So I am going to do PEMF therapy with him. He is very used to PEMF therapy. He used to get it quite a bit last year when he was being ridden quite a bit. We did PEMF therapy at least once a month with him, and depending on how much he was getting ridden. So he's very familiar with it. He just hasn't had it in at least 6 months. So we'll pull him out in the shade with some water. So my thought process with PEMF and Hank is, even if it doesn't make him sweat at the moment, it continues to work. The next day after pulsing, his body is still going to be re-energizing more cells. So for me, it's going to be helping areas that we don't know about, but then it's also going to help absorb all the supplements and everything else that we're giving him. So the way that it works is, if the body is having issues on either absorbing what's going on, or it's not recognizing the good things that it needs to be absorbing, with PEMF, it's going to help the body go back to its natural state. So whatever happened, because we have no idea, whatever happened to make him stop sweating, hopefully with the supplements, the electrolytes, everything that we're adding to him, and the beer, that it can be absorbed the correct way and get him back to normal. So pulsing is just going to be an added benefit. It may or may not be the magic trick. Every horse is different, because every horse stops sweating for different reasons, and nobody knows what actually causes it. So for me, I'm throwing everything at him. We are doing the PEMF. He's getting electrolytes, equinety, Excel, a Guinness beer. It's a extra stout, Guinness extra stout beer, which is so refreshing at 6:30 in the morning. Not my favorite way to start the mornings, but if it helps him, that's all I care about. So pretty much anything that someone has told me to try that is safe, I'm adding to his list of things to eat. It started to cool off this week, so last week was in the hundreds. This week it's still humid, and the high today I think was 80 something, but at night it's in the 60s, so I'm sure he's really enjoying that. So we are basically just feeding him the supplements. I'm giving him time to process everything. And then I think he has 2 beers left. So once his beers are done with, then I'm going to do a liver and kidney detox, and then there's also added vitamins to the supplement. It's a Cavalor supplement, and we use their feeds. It's a whole food based. So we've been feeding that to everybody except for the older guys that are overweight. They pretty much just get grass and a vitamin and mineral mix. So he'll get it's a liver and kidney detox along with the vitamins. So once we get done with the beer, since I'm putting a lot of abnormal things in his body, and who knows what's been going on with him. He is an older horse, and we've had issues with vaccines and his weight, I think for 3 years now. So he's borderline IR, so we already have to watch his weight. So whatever is going on with his body, I'm really hoping the liver and kidney detox will help flush out any of the harmful bacteria, so we can also get that started once his beer is finished. So I'll slow down on everything else that I'm giving him and then do the detox for 25 days. So we'll see. So we are going to give Hank his first beer. We went and purchased the Guinness Beer because the idea of it for anhidrosis is it has B vitamins in it. So the ingredients in a dark beer is supposed to help sweat. Everybody has their own little thing that they've used, but I figured I'm going to throw every option at them and then hopefully something works. And for me, everything always goes back to the diet and nutrition. So if he's lacking in something, then I can see why he would stop sweating. So I have started giving him electrolytes and equinety each day. So hopefully that helps, which this is only day 2 of us treating. He has not been sweating for about a week now. And then yesterday is when I started, I pulsed him yesterday. I started the equinety and the electrolytes yesterday. So we will see how he likes the beer, if he even drinks it. Hopefully he does. And then we'll give him 1 beer a day.
feel the same way when I drink a Guinness.
So in this, it is the Cavalier. It's actually the Junior X. So this one is the for younger horses. But I figured it's the most tasty, so I have a better chance of him eating everything that's in there. But it has the bottle of Guinness Beer, 2 pounds of the Cavalier Junior X, 2 scoops of Equinety, and electrolytes. So he seems to like this a lot better than just straight beer. Oh, buddy. I just come out to check on Hank again, and we actually have a little bit of sweating. Never been so excited for a horse to sweat. There is sweat right there. It feels like he kind of wants to sweat there. Oh, there's sweat there too. Oh, this is exciting. Oh, and there's sweat underneath his mane where he's been itching terribly. Not a lot. There's nothing right there, but there is sweat right there. Oh, that is so exciting. He's still breathing kind of hard. And he's still very itchy. Hank. But he is definitely doing a lot better.